Hello, everybody. Welcome to this final presentation. We are very excited to show you and guide you through this journey of knowledge. So, for this reason, we made this wonderful and beautiful slides that are named From Language Acquisition to Pedagogical Practice, a Reflected Perspective. Our group is conformed by my person, Oriana Macarres, Ana Alcugia, Elias Martinez, and Saidit Daza. So let's start with this. To start with this presentation, I would like to give you two moments of our experience on this subject that make us even more united as a group. To start with, at the beginning of the course, we were just thinking as a students, we were just focused on what we are going to learn in this new period. But then during the phases, we were like analyzing that, okay, we're not students anymore. We are building our identity as future teachers. So it's something that make us be in the same page. Was that we have the same fear or the same problematic that was we were very anxious at the moment to start producing a foreign language. I mean, we were very stressful because we were thinking all the time, how can I pronounce this accurately? How can I say this in a accurate way? If this is grammatically correct, what this person just asked me, I didn't get what he or she asked me, and now I have to answer what I'm going to tell her. So those questions were all the time making us overthink, but it was the best solution. Uh, that we just found out that well we are going to develop this situation during all the subject because technically this is our first steps as future teachers. So it was very challenging, but I just hope that you enjoy what we need to present you in the coming slide. Okay, now we have our project a proposal that was named Speak Without Fear, Building Confidence in Virtual English Learning. Basically, we developed this proposal based on how to reduce anxiety and at the same time how to improve in our students' confidence in order that they can start producing and practicing the English language. So for this reason, we developed four innovative activities where they are going to feel free to learn because as they are students, they are allowed to make mistakes. So for this reason, we have the first activity was named Virtual Interactive Gallery that was focus on speak, rotate, and connect. Then we have the second activity, Voice Notes Challenge, that was to send voice notes with in order to speak with no fear and not think on just think this is grammatically correct. No, just start producing the English. Then we have the third activity, role play escape room, speak to unlock. So technically, they were challenged to answer something and they have to reply or answer speaking. And then we have the fourth activity that was Speak Easy Zone, an environment created uh, to help the students to feel comfortable and now anxious about, okay, I need to speak, so what am I going to say? It was more focused on connection. So it was technically what we um, found as a group and helped us as students to start practicing on these activities in order to lose the anxiety. And at the same time, it was our first challenge as future teachers. Okay, so now we are going to start with the reflection part. So for this reason, we are going to answer a couple of questions. The first one is what was the most valuable experience from your teaching practice? So let's hear our participants.
Okay, regarding this question, I believe that the most valuable experience from my teaching practice was understanding how mindful learning happens when students actively participate in the process. During my practice, I noticed that activities based on interaction, collaboration, and problem solving help students feel more motivated and confident when learning English. I also learned the importance of observation and reflection as a teacher. Through participant observation, I was able to better understand students' needs, emotions, and learning styles. In addition, using digital and game-based activities made the classes more dynamic and engaged. This experience helped me realize that teaching is not only about transmitting knowledge, but also about creating supportive and motivating learning environments.
I answered the first questions. What was the most valuable experience from your teaching practice? I think the most valuable experience from my teaching practice was understanding how important motivation is in the learning process. I realized that students participate more when activities are interactive and meaningful. This experience also helped me become more patient and creative when teaching English.
It was very interesting what our panelists have to say. So now we are moving forward with the second question. How did your view of language acquisition evolve during the course?
Okay, so regarding this question, during the course, my view of language acquisition changed significantly. At first, I through learning a language mainly dependent on memorization and grammar practice. However, I learned that language acquisition is a much more interactive and meaningful process. The course helped me understand that students learn better when they are exposed to real communication, collaborative activities, and motivating learning experience. I also really realized the importance of technology and game-based learning in promoting participation and language development. Additionally, I understood that every learner has different needs and learning rhythms. So teachers must adapt their strategies to create more inclusive and effective learning environments. Overall, the course helped me see language acquisition as a dynamic process connected to interaction, context, and students' engagement.
Question 2. How did your view of language acquisitions evolve during the course? During this course, my perspective about language acquisitions changed significantly before. I believe that learning English depended mainly on grammar and vocabulary. However, now I understand that communications, interactions, emotions, Concepts are essential part of the language learning process.
Now we have the third question. Which activity from the Agora posters inspired you most and why?
Okay, the question is a good activity posters that inspire me. Okay, of course. The posters that inspire me the most were the ones focused on in motivation and innovation in English teaching and the use of technology in education. I especially like the projects that include podcasts and virtual reality, chatbots, gamification, and the flipped classroom model because they showed creative ways to motivate the students and improve communications skills. So I was also inspired by me and about the posters that emphasize emotional learning and the human conversation and connection in the classroom. So they reminded me that teaching is not only about grammar and in theory, but also about creating a positive, supportive, and a meaningful learning environment where the students feel confident and motivated to participate.
And now, finally, we have what did you take away from the Agora event as a future teacher? That's a really good question.
So the next question is what do you take it away from the Agora as a future teacher? Okay, as me, as a future teacher, I take it away the importance of being innovative, is empathic, and at the table in the different educational contexts. So the Agora showed me that the technology and teaching methodologies are a value tools, but the most important aspect of teaching is the human connection between the teacher and the student. I also learning that a good teacher should encourage participation, reduce students in anxiety, and create a dynamic learning experience that making English making it full and enjoyable. So this is event inspiring me to continue and improve my teaching skills and to become a teacher who motivates and guides and supports the student both academically and personally.
Okay, so in conclusion, this first allow us to better understand how foreign language learning works and the importance of pedagogical practices in the teaching process. And it also helped us to reflect on our role as future teachers and the impact that motivation, creativity, and empathy can have in the classroom, especially when we are trying to solve problematic situations that help our students to achieve their goals. So that would be all at this time. Thank you for listening to us, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation as we did. Thank you. Bye bye.